Hey, I'm Jeremy Ashburn with Push Leads, and welcome to session 4 of AI SEO for your local business. And in this session, we're going to look at implementation for your long-term success. So it's time to put everything together into an action plan that we can use for specific app platforms, AI platforms that you can be successful on. So in this training, you're going to learn platform-specific strategies. You'll learn how to understand and optimize for Google's AI, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and other AI platforms. I can't say ChatGPT without putting an extra P in there for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, you'll learn how to measure your success. You'll learn simple, practical ways to track AI search to see if it's working for you and your business. You'll get some monthly action plans. You'll get specific monthly manageable tasks that you can do each month to maintain and improve your AI presence. And you'll end up with a 12-week implementation, which is a step-by-step plan of everything we've learned and what you can implement over the next 3 months. So let's get into it. So how do different AI platforms work for local business? So each AI search platform is a little different, right? Some prefer some things, some prefer another things. They all want to help people find trustworthy local businesses, and understanding these differences is super critical. So Google's AI overviews are still influenced heavily by regular Google ranking. And so for those, you need to focus on Google My Business, local SEO, and getting good reviews. If you keep doing those things, you'll show up more and more for Google's AI overviews. Now, ChatGPT loves detailed, factual information. So make sure your service description pages are comprehensive and completely accurate. And again, avoid salesy headlines, which is more informational and factual headlines. Perplexity's AI really values community recommendations. So if you're active on Reddit and also local Facebook groups and community groups, this helps a lot here. And for Bing, it's great for newer businesses. It gives weight to more recently updated websites. So if you are trying to get together all of these things and you're focusing on Google My Business, you're focusing on putting new content out, you're focusing on local SEO, you are doing factual information on service pages, you have comprehensive information there. And on Perplexity, if you're active with on Reddit in the local community, then you'll really hit all the main areas. And of course, Bing, right? Bing is still there. It's a co-pilot. Bing co-pilot is an actual thing. So doing fresh content helps for Bing, but of course, fresh content helps for everything, right? So let's look at other platforms you can also watch. Claude is a platform I really love. I always tell people that AIs are like people, and Gemini is like the photographer. Gemini does really great photos and videos, not so good with sort of other things as much. It's improving, right? But you can't really have a conversation with Gemini. God forbid you try to have Gemini act as a therapist. Forget it. It'll just repeat the same answer over and over again. Whereas ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT is great for everything, really except content. ChatGPT can give you answers. So ChatGPT is like the handyman. It can do almost everything except write term papers. And so you can use ChatGPT to be a therapist. You can ask it for an AI audit of your business. You can ask it for any question you want to, but don't ask it to write a comprehensive guide. This is where Claude, the English professor, really helps with the comprehensive guides. So when you're doing that and you have that happening more often than not, then that really helps as well. But if you're looking for content, I'd highly recommend you're looking for high quality content. I highly recommend Claude over other platforms for content, because Claude is very careful about accuracy and safety. And so make sure your information is accurate and up to date. So it's great for Claude finding you, but it's also great to use Claude to write content. And I'm going to make other training in the future about that. And of course, Gemini can understand images and has deep research capabilities. So having good photos of your work really helps there. So how do you track your success? You really don't need expensive tools like SEMrush or other things like that if you want to track AI search. Most importantly, the best thing to do here is asking new customers how they found you. So if they're mentioning AI search or voice search, you're on the right track. So if someone just says the internet, I found you on the internet, Well, what were you doing? Are you talking to an AI? Were you just on Google Maps? Do you remember what you were doing? A lot of times people remember, but not all the time, right? So simple ways to track your progress. Ask each new customer, how did you find us? And then ask them what they were using when they found you. Um, and so, secondly, check your Google My Business insights so you can look for increases in calls, direction requests. AI search often will show up here for calls and direction requests. And of course, you can monitor your reviews. So, more positive reviews means you're being recommended more often by AI. So, focus on getting detailed, helpful reviews there. So let's talk about your monthly action plan. As a business owner, consistency matters more than perfection. In fact, don't make the mistake that a lot of us made way back, which is thinking that perfection matters more than consistency. And so if you're focusing on consistency, then that will matter. I always talk about how way back when I first got started, I was interested in digital cameras way back in the 1990s, 1999. I worked at Circuit City and I was thinking about digital cameras. And the very first digital cameras, you had to save images that were really tiny, 640 by 480 on a small little 3.5 inch floppy disk. And you had to do it that way. And I was thinking, there's no way this is going to take off because you can't print these images, right? You'd have to literally put them on the computer, download them, and then email them. But guess what? Digital photography did take off. And the reason why is it was good enough, right? The photography was good enough. People were getting pictures that were a little better than film or a little worse, but they were faster. So you could get a picture in literally 10 seconds versus waiting 4 hours for a developer. So the reason why it took off is the technology was good enough at the time. And of course now our phones take much better pictures than anything else compared to at the time. So the consistency of actually improving the technology along with it starting off being good enough. That's what made it work. So don't make the mistake of everything needs to be perfect. Just have it be good enough. So update your website monthly, add new photos of your work, update your services, have a blog, publish inner hidden pages and answer questions, right? Be active in local groups. Spend 30 minutes a week answering questions in local Facebook groups or on Nextdoor. Be helpful. Don't be salesy. Don't promote yourself. Actually beg people to find you, beg people to work for you by giving great information, but don't directly beg, right? Just give great information. Again, it comes back to a principle that BNI talks about, Business Network International. I made a promotion earlier to BNI. BNI says one of their core values for BNI is givers gain. And the whole idea is if you give back without expecting, goodness in return, then goodness will find you. Goodness will find you, right? So I know we're getting spiritual here, but it's really all about giving back and helping. So if you do that, AIs can sense that. AIs can sense and by they can see your answers and see they're answering questions. So that's super critical. Track your basic numbers. Know how many customers you're getting monthly and ask where they found them. Look for a new trend and then keep everything current. Update your hours, your prices, your services. Keep an active blog. Publish inner pages. Hey, by the way, have you heard me say publish inner pages about what you do and answer questions? Hopefully you've heard that before. Hopefully you're picking that up here. Your budget-friendly approach here is that if you have between $0 to $100 a month, you can focus on joining Facebook groups. You can focus on Google My Business. You can do everything yourself. If you start doing this on your own, you'll push the envelope. If you've got a $100 to $500 a month budget, you can consider hiring like a local high schooler or college student to help you with social media. Maybe pay $350 to someone to do social media for you. If you've got a $500 to $1,000 budget, you can look into marketing agencies. My suggestion is don't hire a marketing agency unless you're spending $1,000 a month. And really, anything under $1,000 a month is mostly a scam when you're talking about SEO companies. So be aware of scams. I'll put some other training out there in the future about scams. But just be aware that about 80% of companies that do what we do at Push Leads, which is local SEO, AI SEO, about 8% of companies that do what we do are a scam because they don't do any work. So be very wary before working with someone. Interview them and make them send you daily or weekly reports of the work they're doing, as well as reports that show you getting higher in Google. If they can't send you reports or they can't be transparent, they're probably trying to scam you. Unfortunately, this is the state of my industry. So your 12-week getting started plan is week 1. Week 1 to 2 is fix your foundation. So don't try to do everything at once. Start with the basics. The businesses that win are starting and being consistent, right? So don't make it perfect. So week 1 and 2 is fix your foundation, test your website speed on mobile, update your Google business listing, make sure your contact, info is the same on your Google business listing as where it is other places. So if you create a Yelp page or other places like Foursquare, and you create a Google business listing, or you create a business listing in other places, be sure that the same name, address, and phone number. Weeks 3 through 6 is rewriting your website. Turn your service pages into question and answer format. Add clear pricing and service details. Create an FAQ page. Even go through and add FAQ pages to the rest of your website. Week 7 to 10 is build community presence, join different online groups, Facebook, online, Reddit. Start by answering questions, ask happy customers for reviews. Don't be salesy. Don't be a giver. Don't be a taker, be a giver, right? So give back. And then weeks 11 through 12 is track and improve. Look at your numbers. Are you getting more inquiries? Are you getting more getting more customers? Keep doing what's working. And the takeaways for entrepreneurs are start now, not later. All AI platforms are expected to explode in the coming, months and years. The local businesses that are doing this now will have a huge advantage. AI search builds on what you already do, so you don't need to abandon everything. Just work on improving it. And then consistently beats perfections. AI searches are changing constantly. It's better to do simple things consistently than try to make a perfect piece of content that just you make it and then you abandon it. So the shift from a traditional Google to AI search is one of the biggest changes that has been happening online really since social media exploded back in 2008. Local business owners that master these strategies now will capture customers that competitors don't even know exist yet. And then a series recap of what we did here in session 4 as we covered platform specific success. We looked at how Google's AI values traditional SEO signals. ChatGPT wants detailed factual content, and Perplexity loves community recommendation, and Bing rewards fresh content. We looked at simple success tracking, asking each customer how they found you, monitoring the Google Business Insights, and tracking review quality versus relying on expensive tools. And then sustainable implementation is about monthly website updates, weekly community engagement, consistent tracking, and keeping information current so that you can show up in long-term AI search success. And then we ended with a 12-week foundation of fixing technical basics, rewriting content and adding FAQ sections, building a community presence, and tracking results. So I'm Jeremy Ashburn with Push Leads. Thanks so much for being with me, and pay attention to me in the future. I'll definitely be publishing more content about AI, about SEO, about all this stuff. I'm Jeremy Ashburn with Push Leads. Talk to you soon.